Hello, you Bloodborne multiplayer and co-op players. Seems that not all is well in the village. Dr. Salvador has made a house call.
Also, he has an axe. What kind of weapon is that?
It's a, whatever he had lying around type of weapon.
Oh. No, he's got the bone saw. Okay.
Alright, Dr. Salvador, of course, is the name of the chainsaw dude who's wearing the burlap sack bag, which, of course, is supposed to be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre parody. But this particular fella loves swinging that chainsaw, and he will chop your head off if you're not careful.
That is using the environment to his defensive advantage.
Well, it is
Honestly, he looks a lot more like a normal citizen of Yarnum than most of your other characters.
Well, it's funny you mention ordinary citizen, that the villagers in Resident Evil 4 also were just ordinary citizens until one day a parasite took them over. Alright, and then this third-person exposition. Leon is almost down.
And Salvador has been bested.
Yes. So I do...
Because of latency.
Well, I do give a chance for my opponent, of course, to defeat the Ganado-type Bloodborne PVP characters I have created. They are supposed to die, after all. This man summoned a cooperator. Let's see if he is successful at repelling my chainsaw attack using him.
The Booch.
Ah, yes, the Booch. Vicious. With an intent to kill. The Whirligig Saw moveset.
It honestly looks like it's mostly a standard polearm kind of set. Oh, there's the alternate version of Ludwig's Holy Blade.
Well, that would be, yes, that's the hammer. And that guy could not successfully defend his beckoner, so he died. And unfortunately, as some of our more experienced Bloodborne players would have recognized, I have been using lead elixir, which is probably the king of cheap items you can use in a PvP type match.
Because of the insane amount of stagger resistance it grants you, right?
Stagger resistance. Well, the reason why I try to use it more purposefully while I take out some rather weak opponents. My Dr. Salvador character actually has an alternate costume, but I have to take time in order to actually put it on. So I take off the Butcher Mask and put on Gascoigne's cap, and then I switch my weapon from the Whirligig Saw to the Hunter Axe.
Okay.
Also, I have a Blunderbuss now.
So this is a more traditional style Bloodborne PvP character then.
Oh yeah, not to mention that Dr. Salvador he was my most consistent PvP character. Not even, I mean, I had the Terminator, he had a decent run, but I usually psyched myself and went into the wrong direction when I played as the Terminator.
Okay.
Isabella also was frighteningly consistent as well, especially in the category of getting very valuable Blood Echo kills. What makes Dr. Salvador good, of course, with my cheapness... Oh, I guess I'm switching back to the saw again. He's a little cheap because of the lead elixir, but I did also make it so that the Whirligig Saw and the Hunter Axe are about as powerful as each other, dealing about 350 damage apiece. Or actually, no, it would be a lot less than that.
Despite the fact that you're only doing 250 per swing at the moment.
Well, when you're fighting against a hunter, all of your damage has to go through an armor rating.
Yeah.
I'm also playing the Resident Evil 4 game over music sometimes when I kill these fools.
So the charged attack on the Whirligig Saw is actually a revving march. Interesting.
Well, I like the transform state where he takes out the wheel and then he tries to crash it into his opponent. Come on, yeah, come on, fight him properly. I notice I'm a little bit faster.
So the halberd slate for the hunter axe, is it actually as effective as you're almost making it look?
The hunter axe is one of the best weapons in the game, I will have you know, and they let you use it as early as your first, you know, well, your second lamppost anyway at Central Yarnum. Well, it's got that going for it.
Yeah, the twin spin, if both heads connect, is almost fatal for most characters.
Deals a shitload of damage, and it distributes it actually on contact if you're right up in the dude's face. Yeah, that'll suck. And just
all right, so the chariot wheel weapon. What is this one called?
Oh, that's Ligarius's wheel. Ligarius is one of the enemies of the Vile Blood faction in this game, and he actually becomes a slave of the Vile Blood in an act of martyrdom that motivates the followers in the Executioner clan to take on the Vile Bloods themselves. So they spin the wheel, and they crush people with it.
Okay, and now he is using a different two-handed sword. It is a glowing green.
But of course, I'm so full of parasites, I gotta throw them at people.
It's interesting that Bloodborne actually does have a slow weapon with projectile projectile specials. I would think that Bloodborne would say no to that specifically for PvP. Oh, that is how much fucking latency there is. You did 1,000 damage with your a fucking visceral, but he had to roll away before it actually cashed in.
Yeah,
Ugh.
This was before I actually upgraded my net, so not only is the latency pretty bad sometimes, I mean, that was the worst. I even made an editing joke just to show how fucking delayed that was. This guy loves using the Augur of Ebriatus.
Well, he's actually using a bunch of different casting items, which is really cool. I honestly think that a caster in PvP would be interesting if these spells were actually slightly better. Like the ghost spells here, although that is a significant amount of your health, they don't travel fast enough / travel well enough to be a significant threat when you still have access to healing items.
Well, they're not very threatening at all as long as I have lead elixir. The only thing that lead elixir can protect you from is getting counterattacked. Because if you do because actually counterattack is probably the answer to lead elixir. Problem is, a lot of the times the enemy is using a pretty fast weapon as it is with animation cancel, and they can just dodge out of the way. And I see that he blew all of his Quicksilver in order to launch ghosts at me. Little does he realize that he and I carry the same blood, it seems. Nevertheless, he's an outsider. Although, actually, no, I'm the outsider because I invaded him.
And got him.
Those slams. Welcome to the slam. Get to the jam. So maybe I'll start the fight playing as the Ganado variant with the well, it's supposed to be a village hatchet because they got throwing hatchets and they got swinging hatchets. So that's basically what the hunter axe is supposed to be. It's just a gigantic hatchet. And this guy unlocked a shortcut for the first time.
Yay!
Boy,
Shortcuts.
He invaded me. Oh, danger zone. You have no idea how much danger you are in.
So the one issue that I see with the Whirligig Saw so far is that its light attacks are actually really short-ranged.
The light attacks are... Yeah, it's got like half the reach as the saw itself. The saw has a very easy tell on the R1 swing that allows you to dodge out of the way. Particularly, it's particularly easy when you've been playing with the Whirligig Saw for as long as I have. And this guy has lost interest, and I am dropping my lead elixir because lead elixir is expensive, and you should regulate your consumption of lead elixir.
Okay. How expensive is the lead elixir?
Costs 2 insight apiece. I've done grinding runs where I will... Oh. Found her. This guy's trying to take me to... I'm slightly... Just to bring up to speed, this guy is doing the I know that you have to go to the boss arena, I'm going to block you thing. And adversaries will do that from time to time. So lead elixir is usually gotten in groups of 6 for me over a period of 6 1/2 minutes. That's the time it takes to go through the entire Thumarine Labyrinth bosses 1 through 3.
Okay.
Alright, there's no turning back now. I will throw Molotovs at you.
Oh, but dude, there's an Orochi back there.
Yeah, there's a nightmare squid.
God, like in every other fight that we end up showing off, the latency is just really goddamn distracting for me.
Well, for you, I guess. But the problem is that if I gave you what you would deem to be a correct amount of latency, there are other events that would not happen on time. He was a troll. He wasn't sure what he was doing, and his level was extremely low. Now we're getting to the adversaries.
Okay, so what weapon is this? Is this Blades of Mercy again?
Nice shot. He's using... Whoa! He killed himself using the Madaris Whistle and the Evelyn Pistol and what looked like the Chikagi sword, which makes sense.
No, that's not the Chikagi. There's no way that's the Chikagi.
Well, this guy's using Chikagi.
Okay. Yeah, this guy's using Chikagi, but the other guy had two small short swords.
Captain Jack will make you die tonight.
You know, because you regret all of your alcoholic purchasing decisions.
He's gonna menacingly walk towards him while I switch up. Oh! That was a good shot. Almost made me feel it in my bones. You do not stand a chance against the axe of justice.
Well, the axe of parasites, rather.
Game over, son. Alright, now we're getting to some more challenging foes. The latter end of the stretch. This can go fast or this can go slow.
Or he can shoot a projectile at us.
Oh, it's a pain. Just gonna rake you up.
Rake you up with the whirligig. You will no longer have any limbs.
Leon, you really shouldn't stand still. Of the many quirky attacks on the Whirligig Saw, I do really like doing that one attack. Am I fighting him again? Oh, I am fighting him again, but I'm using a different costume this time, so it's okay. Doing press and hold circle to run, and then hitting R2 to do that upward sweep with the chainsaw is goddamn awesome.
So, the auger spell, how much damage does that tend to do with your characters?
With Dr. Salvador, not that much, because I only have the 18 arcane that is the prerequisite to use the Augur Vibriatus in the first place. The damage that it deals goes up as your arcane skill goes up.
Yeah, what he said.
I do like these overdubs quite a bit, I must admit.
This is another character running the Blades of Mercy.
Yeah, which means that because my lead elixir is up, I could be in for some serious punishment against this guy. What these gentlemen have to appreciate is that my fucking weapon will shred through these guys.
I do like the additional chainsaw sound effect. That the revving of the chainsaw engine is a nice sound effect to put in, in game.
No, and yeah, this was I mean, not exactly what was going through my head while I was playing. It just made sense that it does make, you know, chainsaw type sounds. It's done on a spring action or something. It's not a genuine gas powered chainsaw. So it doesn't have the complete, like, vroom, 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 you know, that menace that that incomparable terror of Resident Evil 4, like going around the village in broad daylight, thinking that you're on top of things, and then Dr. Salvador comes in behind you, chops your head off because you thought that he was coming from the other direction. You just couldn't see him.
Yeah, you didn't even hit him that time. You just died.
A win is a win, Mr. Gurdett.
But a win feels better when the visual narrative matches what is supposedly happening.
That wasn't very nice. All right, come on, roar. Yeah.
Ooh, Hoenheim. I know that reference.
I highly suggest you start moving, sir. This is combat time.
He's also using the Hunter's Axe. Cool.
Ah, so it's a mirror match. Or is it? Because,
I don't think so. I think his cape is longer than yours.
I got a trick up my sleeve. I'm also using the foreign garb. The foreign garb set is the very first set you get in Bloodborne. It's the one that you wake up in Yosefka's clinic with. It has a very low armor rating, and I especially like using it because of the belt loops. However, because Bloodborne is a stupid game at times and arbitrary with its costume sets, the foreign garb is one of the only costumes you can wear that actually lets you use the belt loops that you can see coming off the bottom. Because when I think Resident Evil 4 Villager, I think unkempt, poorly dressed, very slovenly presented human individual.
Which is weird because, you know, they used to be normal. They used to be normal villagers.
Yes, they were, and they used to put their pants on correctly. And you get a good look at his head. Actually, that's right. I made this guy twice, I'm pretty sure. So sometimes you're going to see the new Dr. Salvador, and sometimes you're going to see the old Dr. Salvador. Which one is it? Wouldn't you like to know? I can't even remember myself.
Visceral death.
I guess I shattered his window. I'm coming for you.
Another character using Ludwig's Holy Blade actually transformed.
Kirkhammer. Kirkhammer that was a favorite weapon of another character that I used, the doll. Because I actually made the Bloodborne doll. It's not really a woman. It's a man who looks like a woman.
And smacks your head in with a hammer.
That was nice. That's cool. That's cool. Getting the Augur of Ebrietas to activate the visceral attack, counterattack. That's a nice touch. Ah, the milkweed rune. The milkweed rune lets you get cauliflower head.
Okay. And he's also using a claw weapon.
He's using the complement of the milkweed rune. I actually cannot remember what this. Oh, that's right. He's using the Cost Parasite weapon. You can only get Cost Parasite by killing the Orphan of Cost at the very end of the DLC boss stretch.
Okay.
I get killed almost all the time by people who use this particular costume. It's a powerful weapon. That charge-up attack that he does will ruin your day if you're not ready for it.
It also has a much higher range than it initially looks like.
I'm gonna put on my hat. I'm gonna smack you. Jesus.
Now, is that the heavy attack for the orphan, or is that the light attack?
Well, the heavy attack would be when he like curls up into a ball in order to unleash the energy within.
Yeah.
Owie.
Yeah, but the heavy attack, the light attack rather than that, has got a really impressive range.
Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah. You're not the only one who's got gooey stuff. I got worms
Yeah, but his
inside my
gooey stuff
germs.
is better than yours. Because he can actually do melee with his gooey stuff. You have to stick to range for yours.
He was an imposter all along. That guy was valuable. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, he cleared the DLC, so...
yeah, you would expect that he would be. Oh, this guy's using the exact same costume. God damn it. It's not even the exact same person.
It's not, but at the same point, this is an interesting weapon set. I'm glad that we got. I'm glad that we got to see this.
I'm glad we got to see it too. Because this is real. The only touch I'm adding is that I'm using parody characters who have an arbitrary weapon set and style that is not necessarily going to mean that just because I'm making fun of some characters doesn't mean I can't kick some ass. And meanwhile, this guy is also using the Black Sky Eye. It's a projectile arcane type attack that allows you to fire blue missiles at your opponent.
But they're drunk missiles.
I mean, not really drunk missiles. I mean, when the enemy is standing still, it's not a drunk rocket. Owie. Oh, you like punching people, do you? I'd like to give you.
He doesn't do anywhere. Okay, yeah.
Owie.
You see, that's the step forward heavy. Which honestly, the range on this weapon set is really goddamn nice.
It is. It's one of the more tenacious weapon sets I've seen, and that's part of the reason why I die on it quite often. I don't think I've ever used the cost parasite. But Dr. Salvador doesn't seem to care where his enemies come from or what they're made of. If they have a head, he's going to chop them off. If they got body parts, he's going to smash them with whatever he's got lying around. A scythe, a pitchfork, a hatchet,
or a halberd,
a throwing hatchet, and of course, a chainsaw.
Alright, so in the next episode, we will be going into the final of Cloud's PvP Bloodborne characters.
Yes. Because
Be safe, everybody.
you met Mr. Salvador, now meet Mrs. Isabella.